start recording.
Bum 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 bum
Wait,
bum bum bum.
too many concurrent sessions. What does that mean? It
What's that?
says I can't record. So can you record on your end?
Uh,
We are live, so
oh, we're live.
yeah, we can figure that out. I can lower the volume.
Well, you do know that when we're streaming, that it's gonna have like a VOD afterwards, I believe.
I know. I just kind of like to have the video myself.
Mhm.
I don't know. Anyhow, let me adjust that volume a little bit. Hi, everybody. Welcome back to Tangent Podcast. It's been, since August? So pretty much 2 months. Actually, exactly 69 days. The funny number. What's it called? But welcome back. We had, a lot going on. And honestly, I don't know. We kind of probably got a little lazy in terms of not doing Tangent Podcast, but it is what it is.
Yeah.
But we're back.
Yep.
Because
It became a back burner for me.
Yeah,
Like,
same.
Usually every semester this happens.
I was busy with midterms, and then when I wasn't doing them, I'm like, oh, I'd rather just go take a nap instead of doing this, or just like go get something to drink. But it is we're back because it was both our birthdays.
Yeah.
Mine's actually today. If you're watching this the day of the stream, October 29th. And Ejon's was the 23rd, which was a while back.
6 days apart.
So we're both 21 now. So feel a little old. I mean, we started this when we were what, 18, 19?
Yeah. 18.
So it's been a while, honestly. Woo. And like being around people like my brother who's 16 makes me feel old, like real old, because they'll say new slang and I don't know what the hell it means. But it is what it is.
I just learned what 07 means today.
You mean the like salute thing, like
Yeah.
07? You
Yeah,
didn't
I
know
didn't
that? Man, you are a boomer.
I just learned today. I'm kind of happy that I finally caught up to it because I saw it like for, I don't know, 2 months, 3 months. And I never understood what it meant.
That's
I just
like
kinda
not knowing what like press F means. They're very similar in meaning.
Yeah, pretty much. I just looked at it. It's like, I wonder why everyone's doing 07. It's like, oh, and then I decided to like take a good look. It's like, it looks like this. Maybe it's a salute. And then I checked it up on Urban Dictionary. It's like, oh, it is a salute.
Oh, I should probably link the stream. Because I remember I told the Discord, the D&D Discord, we're going to stream. One moment. You notice we're in Zoom now? Because Discord was dying, so give me 1 second. Hey, Jake, could you link the stream to the D&D Discord?
Yeah, I already did.
Okay, thank you.
Oh,
Sorry, I was just asking my brother to link the stream to our Discord so people on there could watch. But yeah, welcome back to Tangent Podcast. It's our birthday. Well, it's my birthday. It was his a few days ago. But a lot of stuff has happened in our lives. It's been a long while. I think we have a lot to talk about. And the song that just came on is the Rats Birthday Mix because haha, birthday week. You might be noticing I'm wearing a Jacksonville Jaguars football hoodie. I got this as a gift today from Ejon over there. It's very, very comfortable. We went out to dinner with my family to a Japanese steakhouse. I didn't even know he was showing up. My family just invited him because he was in town, and it was delicious food, and it was real good to have a friend there with me.
I went to a nice hibachi, and his brother wanted me on the surprise, so I showed up, and
they did a good job. I had no idea. I just thought we were going to a nice family dinner. And it's like, oh yeah, my like best friend's here. It's like, oh, that's great. What's it called? Something I just thought of. Ejon, what is your necklace? There's like necklace you have on.
I think it's like a scripture from like the Bible. I'm not too sure. I think it's one of the pieces. It's so tiny. I never really took the time to read it.
Oh, okay. I'm just wondering because like I've seen you wear that before. I just never asked. And then for your birthday, we went to a Brazilian steakhouse, which was great.
La Gaucha. That one surprised me. When I heard about La Gaucha, I was thinking like, okay, it's gonna be like a smaller, like maybe mid-size, Mexican restaurant. And then it was Brazilian. It was also high end. But the thing that kind of got me off guard was when I saw two sports. I know the Ferrari
Uh-huh.
in the parking lot, and I was like, why is there a Ferrari here? And then lens, I was like,
Yeah,
oh, people are like
real
look
fancy.
like they're coming from like lawyers or something like that.
Yeah, I'm
And
happy I decided to wear like, a collared shirt instead of my usual t-shirt look because I would look
hmm
real out of place there.
yeah,
Um,
what was I wearing at the time? I was wearing a t-shirt
t-shirt and
and
like
I had a hoodie,
I
but
believe so, yeah.
I was kind of like out of place too. I was just kind of like, oh,
Yeah,
this
but
is
we
nice.
we got a seat like in the back corner where people wouldn't mess with us much, except the guys carrying meat. They were relentlessly like just walking around trying to shove meat in our face. If you don't
Dude,
know,
yeah.
it's a Brazilian steakhouse. So they go around and they have this like chunks of meat on these like long forks or swords or whatever, and they come up and go, "Do you want this?" And then they would cut a bit off for you, and you take it off with these little like clippers you have. But they keep going around and around and around, while walking around the whole restaurant to try to give people the meat. And then
Mhm.
otherwise, it's just like buffet style food where you'll go out and you'll get a bunch of fruit and
Oh
cheese
yeah,
and stuff like
you
that.
get
It was delicious.
like roasted salmon, really nice brioche, and um, well, brie cheese. What else? They had like a lot of good salad and fruit.
It was a lot of stuff. And honestly, like thinking about it, it's like, it's delicious. But I'm really
Yeah,
full. But
I feel
yeah.
like you. I feel like in some way I wish I just fasted the entire day because I had.
That's what I did essentially for our dinner tonight. I had like a Chick-fil-A sandwich this morning, and that was pretty much it.
Mhm.
But otherwise, like I eat a lot more than that usually in the day because I'm a pretty big guy. I didn't have breakfast. I had a very small lunch, and then that like you saw me there. I eat the whole thing,
Hey,
like
you had filet
all
mignon.
filet
Uh,
mignon. Ooh, it was so good. And then I came home and had a slice of cheesecake after my
hey,
family sang me happy birthday. So
I still
yeah,
had some cake for my birthday too, so it was kind of nice to like come back at the end of it and still have a small slice.
yeah, yeah,
Uh,
yeah. It was fun. Birthdays are fun.
mhm.
Um, you know, what's it called? Is this song?
To be honest, I didn't think much about my birthday this this year. I knew I was going to turn 21, which is kind of last, like it's one of those last big coming of age birthdays you get, you know?
Yeah,
Like usually it's like 13 and then you turn 16 and then you're like, "Oh, I can drive a car now." Then you're 18, you can legally get signed up to go die in a war, so you're technically an adult.
woo!
Um,
It's
and
my
then when you're
favorite one.
21, that's when everyone treats you like, okay, now you're just an adult. We're not even ready
Yeah,
to see.
my mom was like, we're not going to give you any more big birthdays like this. It kind of felt bad because I was like, oh, that sucks. But also, it's like, yeah, it's kind of understandable. Like, I mean, what do I have to look forward to? Like 30 at this point? That's
Yeah,
the
and
next, and then
it's
and
like,
then 40, and then 50. It's like every 10 now.
yeah, like I feel like at that point, now the birthdays, like if you want them to be creative and fun, it's on you now.
Yeah,
So
honestly, like I expect for my 22nd birthday for like my dad to buy me like a T-shirt and maybe like I don't know some new pots to cook in. And that's like all I expect really. I mean, Jacob will keep buying me shirts every year because that's just what we do for each other. But
right.
this is my last big birthday, and unfortunately, due to quarantine, we couldn't really do much. But
Yeah.
I did actually get a good birthday present. I got 3 T-shirts. I got one from you, one from Jacob, and one from my dad, which hasn't come yet. And I got this, which was nice, and then the hat you gave me and all that, and Plank, of course. But I also got $200 from my grandma, and I got $500 from my dad and mom. So $700 in a day. That's it's quite good.
For you.
I felt like a mafia boss because they both gave it to me in 20s, so I was there with a fat stack just rolling it like that. Yeah, it was fun.
Hey,
Um,
it's nice.
and I've already spent like $120. So
Oh yeah,
just buying some games. Um,
cool.
so oh yeah. So we didn't actually come up with a idea of what to talk about for this. We kind of just started because I assumed we had a lot to talk about. But I know that you said you wanted to avoid politics until at least
Yeah.
after the election.
I want to avoid it because I feel like if I say something now, people are just gonna tear into me. I'm gonna tear them into the future anyway because they can go through the back catalog and find something that like.
We're very opinionated.
But right now I'm just kind of like whatever happens. I'm going to be.
We both voted already, so you know.
So it doesn't really matter. And in my eyes, like, oh, what can I do to change someone's vote? I don't even want that. So yeah.
All I'll say is vote for who you think will make America a better place in the next four years. Mm-hmm. Whoever that may be to you. You can guess our opinions probably. Just
maybe.
Like if you're a longtime viewer, it's not hard. I'm pretty sure we've talked about it in the past. Mm-hmm. But how have you been? Are you still are you still working? You had the job at your university and then the one at the NASA place, right?
Yeah. Actually, I guess the update would be is that I am only working one job, so that's nice.
That's good.
That is the fun part, and it's remote, so I get to write my hours down, so I don't really worry about having to work at the odd end of the night or working very little, like at 8 a.m. or however. It's more flexible, and I appreciate that. And with that, the only thing I had was my school. I have 5 classes this semester, and I'm not too sure if I'm going to do that next semester. I'm going to try it. But the reason I did 5 is just because I wanted to take this one elective for databases. And even though it's more work than all my other classes, well worth it, because I've actively used the stuff that they taught me in that class for me to do better in my job. So that like right there, that just paid it off. I mean, yeah, cool on me. The only hard part was that this semester I had to pay for my classes for the first time in a while.
What happened to your scholarship and all that?
Well, I still have it. The problem was that during this semester, I think because of COVID and just the confusion in general, some of my financial stuff didn't go through or transfer well, so I had to redo it. But because of COVID, it took a long time for me to A, send it out, and B, for them to process it. So when they did process it, it's kind of a bit late. So right now I decided I don't want to risk waiting for them to pay me out this semester. So I'm going to just wait for spring. So for the first time I paid it out. It was one time I was like, man, I really took for granted how nice it was to have my scholarships.
Yeah, I've been doing student loans this entire time, and seeing that pile up has been like, ooh, it's not great. But I'm taking 5 classes this semester as well.
Yeah.
And it's tough at times, especially when midterms came around. But I'm getting closer to finishing my degree.
That's the best part. I mean, for me, I'm considering to do 5 classes next semester or not, just because I could. What I want to do is basically have my summer be just I'm only here to do electives and have fun, and then I leave because that feeling. Here's the reason I wanted to leave or graduate in the summer, right? Because if you graduate in the spring, everyone else graduates in the spring, but new jobs don't usually get posted until or people don't hire you until January.
Yeah.
Or midway through summer or something like that.
Yep.
So I tactically decided, let me just wait until fall. So that way I have 4 months, more or less. Either I start in August or I start later in December. And then with that, I can probably get a job without having to wait too long, because I didn't want to be stuck in June and really
well, time to wait. Yeah, I get that. Yeah, I'm probably going to graduate next summer as well, based on the class loads I have left. I've got 6 classes I have to take, and I could take that all next semester, but I think I'd die. So I'm probably going to take 5 next semester, then finish it up with 1 while I'm trying to get a job and stuff like that as I finish up my degree. But speaking of jobs, I since last time I've kind of changed my my path with all that. I haven't talked about it here on the podcast, but I plan on being a teacher. I'm going to school for business management right now, but I decided, it'd make a lot of money, but I wouldn't be passionate about it. I'd just be doing it because it makes me money. But I've always been really passionate about teaching. I enjoy helping people. I enjoy imparting knowledge and all that. And I think being a teacher would be a good path for me. So I'm going to finish up my degree and then work to get my teacher's certificate, which I can do while I'm teaching and all that. And I'll start as a high school teacher, and thankfully there was a pay raise for them recently, up to $47K a year, starting, which is good. It'll be a good amount to start off with. But I eventually want to keep going and keep getting my degree so I can become a college professor and get that good money for like less work and for better students. Like, no offense to high schoolers who are listening, but y'all are crazy, okay? I was a high schooler a few years ago, and looking back, I was like, oh my god, I did that? Crazy stuff.
I don't blame you. But I think like that's a good place to be in, just because I think like high school and middle school and then college you're a little bit more well adjusted, but still like those are more integral points of your life that I think matter.
Yeah, and plus in college I won't have to deal with like angry parents, hopefully. Because students will come to me directly. Because in high school, it's gonna suck when like a kid is like flunking out of the class because he never does any of the work, and then parents can come like, "My little angel would never do that," and everyone will be like, "Ugh." But
I don't know what to
honestly,
tell you.
I really hope the school system gives me flexibility, because like I've been thinking about what I want to do for my students. You might have seen me talk about it a little while back in the Discord server, but I really don't like homework, and I think standardized tests can be really hard for some people. Good night. Sorry, my brother's going to sleep. I think certain tests can be really hard for certain people who are bad at test taking. So I want to have alternatives, but I don't want my kids to just have, a few assignments a quarter. So I was thinking,
Fill up on
extra credit, and also just like alternative assignments. Like, I'll give students exams. Like, say I'm a history teacher, which is what I want to be. I would give students an exam and say pre-Columbian America. That's the exam be on. But they can also give me like a 2 to 3 page double-spaced essay on what they learned about pre-Columbian America. Or like they could, I don't know, if they want to like give me like a 1-page essay with like like illustration or like a drawing of like Tenochtitlan, which was the Aztec capital, then I would take that too, and I'll grade that, because a lot of students are better at different things. And one of my major problems with the schooling system is how it forces you down into doing one thing. And I don't know how much room I'm gonna have to change things like that, because I probably am expected to do some form of standardized testing. But if I can get away with it, I'd love to give alternative assignments for students, because I think it'll really help them connect with the education. And engagement is so huge for school. When students check out of a class, they're just essentially done, and they're not coming back.
You could probably do it with a club. You can get more flexibility if you like.
That's what I was thinking.
You know how like your Spanish class, you have like also a Spanish club headed by the same teacher. You get to do basically, you can't do everything, but you get a lot more flexibility to do things. So that would be a good way to go for it.
Yeah, and also I was talking on the Discord the other day about how I'd want to start some days, where I would have a piece of music going. It could be modern, it could be older, but it'd probably be music that I like, or at least I find like interesting. And I would play it for the students, and I'd be like, okay, I want you to analyze this. I want you to tell me what it makes you feel, or what you think it means, or just write about it in general. Give me a paragraph on it, and that'll be your assignment for the day. So something small like that you do in class, I think will really get students going. And it's not hard, really. They could write almost anything, and I would take it. Because like all art and music is like subjective, so it doesn't matter really what they write. I just want them to get to be critically thinking about things, which is really important. And I want assignments like that. I don't want to go to page 26 and do the homework on the questions there. That's your homework. I don't like that. And I will probably be forced to give some kind of homework, but I don't want it to be like that. You know, I don't want to do what I hated in school. Is what I'm saying.
Right.
So yeah, that's what I want to do because I really enjoy thinking about it. I really think about if I was a student, how would I do this? And one great thing is that our D&D group that we're a part of, that I DM for, has a bunch of high schoolers in it. So I can just throw like, hey, is this a good idea? Would you like this in a class? I can ask them and just have like little, testing group. But that's what I want to do, and it's something I'm really passionate about. And I know I'm probably going to earn less money, over my lifetime, but I don't really give a fuck. I mean, sorry for the cursing. We're going to do it a lot more later on. But it's what's going to make me happy. So, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I think, I like your future. I like how, you're doing the things that you care about. I think that's the best part about this. Yeah. So I have no worries about you. Let's see. I guess I should talk about something I've been up to. One of the things that has happened is that I'm kind of slowly going through, like, how should I say this? First of all, let me burp, guys. Okay. All right, so let's talk about something that's been on my mind. So, I think we talked about this earlier in a couple seasons of the podcast about how, for a while now, I was having a hard time being true to myself and being honest. Feeling like kind of like robotic in the sense of trying to like I would live in a very stone-faced kind of like cool and collective kind of way. So, or I'd focus on trying to please everyone or try to be nice and kind to people. And I didn't really think that was a bad problem. I didn't think it was even a problem until I realized it was just affecting me and making me feel sour and upset. Mm-hmm. But lately I've been reading this book and one moment.
He's getting that book.
Okay, cool. So I've been reading this book called No More Mr. Nice Guy. Mm-hmm. All right. So the reason I picked this book out is because for a while now, I've been having kind of like, in a sense, realizing there are a lot of behaviors I was doing that I internalized and they didn't really think were a problem until they became a problem. And one of the things that, the book talks about is just being a bit more, in a way that we talked about before, selfish. Yeah. But it's more like in the realm of like self-care, being a bit more honest to yourself.
That's kind of what I meant, yeah.
Yeah. So and it's kind of like stuff that was pretty good, like setting boundaries for yourself. Mm-hmm. For example, for me, one of the things that I find that I do is that if there's not really something that's like overtly hurting me, I would just let someone cross things that didn't make me feel comfortable just because I want to keep the peace. Mm-hmm. I just don't want to cause trouble because I want to live a smooth, happy life. Yeah. Just chill. But the problem about trying to focus on being chill or just letting things go, is that it kind of builds up those feelings that you get of trying to appease everyone or trying to, hide away things that you don't like to come out of it yourself. It builds up over time where it either explodes or it deteriorates relationships, and it makes things pretty sour. And one of the things I highlighted actually that maybe wanted to share was here it is. So one of the things that is important to note though is that even if you're trying to be a bit more honest about yourself, I'm going to tell the truth of how I feel, it's not going to be the magical formula for a smooth life. And I think that's the thing that most nice guys try to do. They're trying to do things so things are smooth, they look like they're the calm, collected one, they're trying to make things keep the peace. But the author kind of goes down to say, look, what you're looking for, what you're doing is unattainable. If you're trying to so focus on keeping things smooth or keeping the peace, you're going to only make your life worse because life isn't peaceful or smooth. It's chaotic and messy.
Hmm.
And that's a fundamental thing that most nice guys like myself are like, well, no, I can control things. I can control people, how they see me. I can control how it acts. So people think differently about me, or I can control myself so I'm not like a certain person that I don't like, or like someone in family that you don't want to be. Like you can do things differently so you will look like a nice guy or feel better about yourself. But in reality, you're just suppressing or denying yourself. And as I'm still going through it, because I'm only on chapter 6, the thing about it requires you to do is to be a bit more, what you say, accept all sides of yourself. Accept the good, the rough edges, the dark sides,
Yeah.
the parts that you like about yourself. Because sometimes most nice guys will just like, hey, I'm not that great. Like I do things, but I'm not all that. It's also accepting the good parts of yourself.
Mhm.
So I recommend this book for a lot of people. Like I think honestly, if we had read this book growing up, we'd probably speed run through like 3 years or 5 years
Like
of
trying to do it ourselves. Yeah.
yeah. Well, like like this is unmasking a lot of things that I don't like to admit,
Yeah.
but it's really handy. Personally, I actually would like if we could read this. Like if you read this, I might maybe I should make this as a gift for you too. But something like that would be really good to do. It's a really good book. I highly recommend it, especially if you're in middle school. Like if you're a young guy in middle school or high school, I'd recommend getting it because you might not believe that you're one of these nice guys. So I didn't really believe it until it's read right in front of you, things that you do on a very given basis. Really
Yeah.
good book.
Or like even if you're not a nice guy, like it says, just trying to understand all parts of yourself, like knowing yourself is such a huge thing. And if a book can help you realize that, it'll help you out in life a lot. Because like, people when they're teenagers, they're trying to find themselves. And really that's just trying to uncover more of yourself and who you are. Probably things you haven't either looked at or haven't wanted to look at for like most of your life. And that book sounds like it helps out a lot.
Oh yeah.
So that's No More Mr. Nice Guy by who?
Oh yeah, No More Mr. Nice Guy by Dr. Robert Glover.
Robert Glover. Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
so check that out. I give my own spiels about it, but I'm sure a doctor has more of a formulaic approach rather than mine, which is like just love yourself, man, be selfish.
Yeah, I mean, it tells you the whole thing, like, how to get you from that point to where you're like, you feel great, or if not great, you feel a little bit more like assured of yourself.
Yeah, like you get a lot of confidence by knowing who you are, and that's something I don't think people can really take away from you. That confidence you get from it, because you always know who you are and what you want to do in the world, and that gives you this sort of purpose almost, which is something that people really strive for.
Yeah, I was honestly, for a lot of this semester, that was the one thing I was trying to figure out beyond this book. This was like I was bouncing between this book and trying to figure out what kind of things would make me happy, or things that I thought would matter. And I think that what I came to the conclusion at this point was that I want, in a sense, that kind of freedom of ownership, like having ownership and freedom of my life, in a sense. I guess the best way to describe it is that, like, I have a maxim that has stuck into my head, even though I feel like it's not a great maxim, but it's a really good one. Is whenever you're presented with two options or more options, and one option makes you more free and independent, take that option. And the reason I think about that is because it's like you take freedom. Like, you will not be a slave to anything if you do the option. Because for me, I just don't want to be enslaved by anything, any person, passion, idea too much. I want things to serve me and serve like that I would want. So that's the kind of maxim I try to apply. And lately I've been like, when I got that car,
Yeah.
Even though it's a used car, it
Oh,
just
yeah.
having it
Ejon got a
there.
car. Yeah, should say that.
Yeah, I got a car. That's nice. And there's things with the car I need to fix, but aside from that, it runs well, and I can at least drive myself around here in Jacksonville and slowly fix it up over time. I kind of, how should I say, as a person who's taking the bus and is going to be taking a train and taking another public transportation, Florida is not meant for you to have public transportation. You can get around. It's just really painful because I don't know. Well, I know why, but the government doesn't want you to use public transportation as much as they want you to buy a car. So
Pay gas taxes. Yeah, sort of.
pay taxes, pay all kinds of things that come with a car. You become trapped in a different way, but it's a little bit more free in like a different sense.
Yeah.
So because of it, though, I mean, I really like it. I like the fact I can get around one side of town. I don't need to ask for a ride. It's permissionless. You do as you do. No one's stopping you, more or less. And I mean, I really enjoy that feeling. That said, I'm not much of a free rider. I just take it more leisurely. And I think my favorite part is like listening to the radio, like classic, like old school rock, like like 80s or 70s rock, and
Get
just
some Black Sabbath and like Led Zeppelin in there.
yeah. Well, not Black Sabbath, but like more like more
Black
like
Sabbath's a
classic,
big band.
more like the Americana rock.
Oh,
You know,
okay.
that kind of was like real. I think like 80s kind of cool
What, like
American,
hair metal kind of stuff?
almost like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, the kind of classics. But so like driving down like at night or on a sunset is like ooh.
It's so nice. Yeah, like one of my favorite things to do is, I'll go out sometimes to get, some food like late at night. It's like midnight, and I'll just put on these like, slick like electronic music, like especially like stuff from Daft Punk. Their stuff late at night, just driving around, like looking at the lights and just enjoying it all. It's so nice, and like this, like you were talking about with the sense of freedom in a car. Like you really feel it when you're out of like a usual place. Like when I went on a road trip to Virginia with my brother, I felt so free the whole way driving because I could take any exit. I mean, I was going in one direction, but I could do anything I wanted on that road. And when I got to Virginia, it was like, okay, what do I want to do? I can go anywhere. And it was so nice because I wasn't bound by a bus. I wasn't bound by a train or a monorail or anything like that. And those are nice, but I think the sense of adventure you get from being able to pilot your own car is something that's like not replaceable by public transit.
I don't think it is. It's a sense of autonomy that you get that's really intoxicating in some way. That said, I do plan on maybe taking like a train or going to different places on the East Coast with like Amtrak. What I want to do is that whoever is in, I have a question actually. I need to ask. When Obama got reelected, did he have like a whole like inauguration part, or was it just back to work as usual?
You cut out for that question. Could you say that again?
What I was saying is that when Obama got reelected, was it like he had like a whole inauguration speech again, or did he just?
I
get
believe
back to
he
work?
had another inauguration speech. I don't remember. Let me look it up.
Check.
Obama 2012 inauguration. Is that a thing? The second inauguration of Barack Obama as President of the United States was the 57th inauguration and marked the commencement of the second and final term. So yeah, I've got it here. Yeah,
Okay, cool.
it happened.
Yeah, I want to come to the second inauguration of Donald Trump or the first inauguration of Biden, whoever gets the.
That'll be in
elect-
February, January.
I guess January. Because like I remember when you were with me when we went to see Trump get inaugurated.
Nope. You
No,
and,
you weren't.
You and Nicole and
Nicole.
a few others went. Yeah.
Yeah, that was wild and it was fun because I got to see people.
I heard the crowd was kind of small though. Is that true?
Yeah, I mean you can easily like I'll tell you this. The whole like crowd size thing is true because the front was full. let me make no mistake. The front of the stage was full.
Uh-huh.
It was hard to get through, but the half of the field was just empty.
Yeah, I've actually been to DC. Were you on that trip, or was that a middle school trip?
No,
during
I was
the
on
like
that
blizzard.
trip too. No, that wasn't me. I only came for the one for Donald Trump because that inauguration.
Okay, yeah.
I wanted to see.
There was another one. I think it was high school. I think it was either 8th grade or high school. But we went up to DC. It was 8th grade. We went up to DC like right after a really hard blizzard hit, and it was freezing. I can actually talk about that a little later because I have some wild stories from that, like how we almost got frostbite at the Arlington Cemetery because it was 10 degrees colder than everywhere else nearby. Or how about we went to a haunted house at Gettysburg? It was fun. But yeah, I've been to DC. So like the crowd was out on the front green of the White House, or where was it?
I was like on the mall, like.
Oh yeah. So were you you were on the side like there's the Washington Monument in the middle, White House, and then Lincoln. You guys were in front of the White House, yeah?
Yeah, I was like,
Okay.
if I could get between all the people and the snipers.
Or
I could
were you
walk
at
straight.
Capitol, the Capitol?
No, I was like ahead of me was Donald Trump and like talking to everyone getting sworn in.
Yeah, I'm just wondering if you were outside the White House or inside the Capitol building.
I wasn't. I was probably in the Capitol.
The Capitol
Yeah.
building is the like steeped dome one.
Dome.
Well, the White House is flat. Okay, so you're at the rest of the Capitol. Okay. Yeah, so
Right.
you do have a pretty large area to occupy there, but yeah, honestly, going to see the inauguration would be kind of fun. But the drive is like, what, like 11, 12 hours? Drive to DC time. From Jacksonville, Florida, it's about 10 hours, 10 minutes, but there's also traffic and stopping. So it's probably like close to 11 to 12 hours. So, but that's not, I mean, I did that
Yeah.
in pretty much one sitting when I went to Virginia, which isn't far. It's possible, but it kind of kills you.
Yeah, I think that was like. No, we did go there in one drive. It was, but we had to leave at like 4 a.m. to get to DC around what, like 2 or 3
Yeah.
in the afternoon. That was quite a lot, but hey, all in all, not regret it one bit.
Yeah, I bet.
I'm glad I got the opportunity to go thanks to my mom and family. So, but I would want to go again, like take a train to, or take a ride down to, the Capitol and see whoever gets inaugurated.
Hey,
Because-
maybe if I decide to go, you can come on a road trip with me and my brother, and maybe my family. We can all, ride in a car together.
That'd be nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, because the thing is, it feels so. I don't know. I feel like it'd be a really interesting moment, as long as, because I remember when he first got inaugurated, there were like the women's protests,
The women's
Immediately.
march, yeah.
the women's march, and
And
I
I
saw
bet-
some clashes.
No matter who gets elected, there's gonna be marches, almost assuredly.
Oh yeah, but how should I say? It's almost like kind of wanting to be like a ground reporter. Like you kind
Yeah.
of want to see the chaos and record it yourself, even though you're not going to get anywhere as good footage. You kind of just want to be able to, like, I remember.
We can do like a like impromptu tangent podcast, like tangent podcast here at the riots in DC.
Hey, that'd be funny. You can just
It would be
record it
pretty
and then
good,
upload
yeah.
it later.
Yeah, that'd be pretty good.
Hey, we can have like a table and just put like, hey, welcome to Tangent Podcast.
And it's
I
like,
wanna
who
pull
the
you
fuck
aside.
are you people?
Oh, we're here bringing a podcast.
I mean,
just to check
right
out
now
the
we
riots.
have 2 whole viewers, but like our last one that we recorded in August, I think it got like 20 views in total, like like over time, which is actually better than we usually do. So it's pretty good.
So, you know, it'd be scary if we actually went there and the newscast were like recording us.
Yeah, they're like,
recording that
so
episode."
what are your thoughts? And we're like, oh, and it's
It's
like,
like-
CNN or
and then-
something, yeah.
And then they blast us like, oh no, the website.
It's
Oh,
like
no,
two
it was-
two young college students who run their podcast, Tangent Podcast, and we're like, oh, we should. We're gonna get a lot of people coming in.
Dude, that would scare me.
Yeah,
that would actually
same.
like frighten me. It's like the website, the podcast.
And the next time we
click.
stream, we have like 3K people watching.
Like,
That'd be terrifying.
Yeah, no.
Oh.
I know. Yeah, I don't really understand how. Can we transfer into like how YouTubers deal with that? Because I always find that's really the mark of. I don't know. I find like whenever that happens, I had to imagine it's the scariest thing in the world for them.
Yeah, like I don't know how streamers do it, being watched by like 15K people, and then just being like, "Shut up, chat," and it's like, what are you doing? That's your entire audience. Oh, I don't know how to do it. Like,
no,
it's probably just
scarier?
social anxiety that they have to get over. Go ahead.
True. I think the one that I appreciate the most is whenever it's like a small YouTuber who eventually gets a lot of like viewers because some big YouTuber like name drop them or link them in the description.
Mm-hmm.
That's when I'm like, I want to see how this goes. Like, I'm curious. Because that happens a lot, and this is not just considered YouTubers, but just people in general. Like I remember the hacker Giraffe. He was a hacker that for PewDiePie he hacked printers that was like subscribed to PewDiePie during the whole PewDiePie versus T series.
Yeah.
So like he got a lot of attention after doing that hack because PewDiePie name dropped him, and then he went on his whole adventure. I believe I don't think he got caught. I gotta check. I don't think he got caught, but I just remember that he was stopped. He just stopped going any further because the attention was kind of getting to him.
Yeah.
Yeah. But that'd be scary. Oh, you know what we have been doing? We've been playing Among Us lately.
We have, and it's been pretty fun. You almost never get a imposter. And I don't either. It always goes to Sam, almost always. And I feel bad for him because he got like imposter like 10 times in a row once, and by the end he was like, I'm so fucking done. And then like whenever I'm imposter, it seems like you guys just know. It's like usually like when I'm crewmate, you guys are like, I don't know who it is. It could be anybody. When I'm imposter, you all are like ace detectives. Like, well, you said you were here, and it's like but
Is that Patrick Bean?
Yeah.
Is that Patrick Bean's like, would anyone else be imposter? Patrick like, hitting himself with like wood, the hammer.
And then it goes to like scientist Patrick, like, You say you were in med bay, but what? You say you were analyzing a sample. What color sample did you get? Something like that. But you've gotten better at imposter. But one thing that always tips you guys off, if I am imposter, is how many people are killed. Because like someone like Sam, for example, will kill one person and just let people like vote each other off. I have like a bloodlust where like if my kill cooldown is down, I will find someone and I will kill them. And my favorite one was when it was Jacob and Sam like stacked on top of each other, and they were both in O2, and I wanted to kill Jacob because I always want to kill him first, and I go in to stab him, but I accidentally kill Sam and I run away. Then you run in and you report the body like, oh, it was Jacob. I saw him standing on the body, and I was like, wow, I was in Nav. Wow, that's crazy. Someone died right over there, and then we just vote off Jacob, and then I just kill someone else, and we win. Oh, I win, and it's like easy money. But I was the amount of terror I felt in my body as I realized that Jacob and Sam were stacked on each other was so immense that I just ran for my life, hoping that he hadn't seen me, and he hadn't. Which was a lot of fun. Among Us is a real fun game, but I don't think it'd be as fun like over like voice call or something like that, because like seeing someone's reaction it makes it so much better. Although I get to feel bad for Sam here because he always looks shifty, no matter what. Like even when he's not imposter, I'm just like, Sam kind of sus though. But it's fun.
It's the worst kind of feeling. It's like you're always. It's like Hey, we might as well just vote him off. I think the thing that was great was that near the end, Sam and I were like, we're gonna have a
Like oh yeah,
non-aggression
like
pact.
like an alliance,
Like
yeah.
even if he is the imposter and he kills me, I will not say it was Sam, or I won't even like give any hints.
Because he had been imposter like 90% of the games at that point, and he like barely won.
So it was kind of like, yeah, I kind of want to give him like help.
Yeah.
The best thing was that he wouldn't out me out if I killed him. So
Yeah,
it was like, okay.
yeah. And you know, we've been playing D&D, of course. We just had our first game in a while last Saturday, and it was a lot of fun. At least you know, I thought so. It was pretty wild. I had warned them in advance that because we're going back to our side game, which is set in Sorcery, which is a choose your own adventure book, and also later made it into a choose your own adventure game. What's it called? That in these side games I get a little more wild in my storytelling, and I think they saw that, you know, with time traveling to the past to make an infinite beer koozie that would save people from being frozen in time by an ancient warden who worked for the Serpent of Time that they have to kamehameha in the time stream. It was some, and like the like southern accents that we did for the brothers Fetus and Cletus. You know, Cletus, we gotta build this down here, you know, Cletus, but we run out of booze, Cletus, we gotta go find that. I can't even do. I had this like specific voice for him, and like it's really hard to imitate without fucking killing my voice. Like afterwards, I could barely even talk because it just doing D&D wrecks my voice. But it's a lot of fun. I enjoy it a lot.
Yeah. Personally, I think it's like one of those things where it's like, I don't know if we can really do it justice because there's so much that happened last.
Yeah. I mean, we went for like 5 hours, 6 hours.
Right. You know, the thing about D&D, whenever that happens, that I usually get like a headache at the end of it, or I want to like lay down.
Yeah.
Just be like, yo, I'm done. I'm just gonna chill. I want to get some tea.
It's like the like adrenaline wears off. At least for me, it's like, you know, after I drop you all off, I just go like, and it just leaves my body, and I'm just like, okay, I want to sleep now. Where's some water? I'm thirsty, and that's just kind of how it is. But it is really tiring, but it's worth it. You know, just hanging out with you guys is a lot of fun,
Right.
Especially during quarantine and all that. You know, that human connection is really
Yeah.
really important.
You know, one of the things I really want, I really do miss. Okay, here's the thing. On one hand, I like the fact that I'm remote.
Yeah,
On the other hand, I want to be back in school.
same. Yeah.
Like I miss clubs. I miss people. Like I think, I don't know. Like next semester I can do another one online completely, but it's kind of getting a bit old, really. And the thing that just sucks is that we didn't. The U.S. hasn't. They didn't go any.
He's
Hey,
trying to
actually-
avoid politics.
I'm gonna try to avoid politics, man. I'm really gonna try.
I think
One
we
thing
can
is-
all agree that this could have been handled somewhat better.
no that's the-
Non-political.
Non-political. I believe that this could have gone somewhat better, and it's being drawn out. And I'm unhappy with the fact that it's taking this long. Because,
And that it's essentially our senior year, and that like half of it is online, which sucks.
yeah. You know, it's just painful to see other countries just like getting on with their lives, and then I'm out here like I still gotta wear a mask. I want this. to
Like
end.
I saw a headline today. I don't remember the exact like numbers, but it was like Taiwan has gone like 50 days with no infections, which is like amazing. I mean,
Yeah.
they're a really small like island nation, which isn't as comparable, but
But
still, you know.
No, like here's one that was crazy. I'm reading up on China, and they're like, yeah, we right now China's cases are now, we're worried about imported people coming in from other countries. We don't have any internal cases anymore. And I was like, what? I checked their death count, and there's only 5,000 people died.
I doubt that personally.
Maybe.
I mean, they're like an authoritarian state, so strength is really important to them. And if they look weak by announcing like a large amount of deaths, then it might make them look bad. But I mean, I don't doubt that they're handling it better than we are at the moment, just because they have such autocratic like control of their people, they can do whatever they want to stop the pandemic.
Yeah, but yeah, honestly, when I'm looking at them, I'm just kind of like, honestly, I'm just jealous. Wish I could just like get off my life and just live my life too. So, props to them. Like props to them, I guess. Right now, I just want to be. I just want to go back to in a way. Things were just
You know,
not so much. I don't even want to go back. I just want to be able to go and talk to people without having to fear I'm gonna risk killing myself or my family. So
yeah.
that's honestly the only thing I care about. I don't even. I would take the same violence and same everything else if I could just at least go to a person and not have to worry about, my life and their life.
Yeah.
Like a vaccine right now. Take it right now.
Yeah, and like yeah, I was reading the other day that even if we get a vaccine in like December, say, it'll still take till like summer of 2021 for it to be fully like distributed amongst the populace. Because you have to get like 330 million vaccines. You have to get them to everyone. You're gonna have some people who be like, "I don't take vaccines because they cause autism," and they're gonna cause more people to die. And like, it's just a large like logistical problem that's gonna take time. But one of the things I miss most about going to campus is honestly one of my favorite things to do, like between classes or just like before or after my classes, was just going to the library and just finding like, because at the UNF library, there's these like, in between the bookshelves, there's these little like plush seats with like little tiny tables, just like individual little like reading zones. I'd find one of those and just get a book or go on my phone or laptop and just like do some work or just read the book or whatever and just put my earbuds in and nobody would mess with me and I'd feel alone, but I'd still feel like I was at campus. It was different because I'd still be able to get up and walk 5 seconds and go into the full breadth of all the hundreds of people at the library and then get back to my class. And it's just something I miss, like that feeling.
I think the thing I really do miss is just the ability to go to another person's or just hang out with people, like hang out, see my friends, like walking down, just cat up and talk, or going to like a club. The thing that sucked is that prior to the pandemic being a real thing, I was actually in like a boxing or like a not boxing, but I was in like a martial arts club.
Oh.
And for the first, and the thing I realized when I was there is that I get pushed harder and work out even better when I'm with a group of people to compare myself to,
Yeah.
or I'm with another person who's doing the similar activity. And the reason I knew that is because even after when I went to get a gym membership, because I realized I needed some place for me to continue working out, I found that when there was a person who was doing boxing or jump rope, if they were going harder than me, I wanted to at least match them or at least get close
It's a
to where
like
they were.
competitive spirit.
Now, it's not even that. It wasn't even so much like competition. It just felt like, oh, I'm not doing enough. I need to keep going harder, so I can look like when that person stopped, I would stop like a little bit after or a little bit before, so that way I would say like, okay, I actually did enough because
So
that
it's
person
like
looks
coordinated effort kind of thing.
yeah, pretty much because that person looks ripped or he looks like he works in boxes. So if I follow what he's doing and keep up the same effort that he is doing, um, then I won't look like them right there and then, but I'll get one step closer to getting to the point of feeling stronger about myself.
Yeah, definitely.
So that's what I like doing. And that's the thing when I was with the club, I would have people who are more experienced and they have ways to fix my form, which I don't have anymore now. My form is bad. I know that because the only way I find out is by going online to maybe check to see if maybe I want to adopt that form or I should adopt another one, and that's just confusing. Or I look at someone else and how they're fighting, like in a professional, fight or training, and I realize like, oh, I didn't take into account how I should fix my arm and then move my legs, and that's how I take little notes from that. But there's definitely like having that group. I really miss that.
Yeah,
I miss that casual interaction because now it's just like my world is these four walls,
Yeah.
um, and it's really
It's constricting.
it's constricting. Like point, if that could travel through me, I'd be more willing to just risk my life just so I can have human connection. It's the one time I realized that being an introvert, it makes me more able for me to deal with this situation. It doesn't make me adaptable for this situation, you know?
Yeah, there's a difference between taking time to yourself and being like locked in your house for 6 months.
Yeah, like I, I was totally okay with house arrest. Like, look, if in all honesty, if we had like a person in the government that said, look, straight up right now, I will lock you up. You will not leave everyone in this country. Everyone's stuck in their houses for 1 month. You cannot leave unless you're an essential worker.
Mhm.
I would totally do. I would do that 2 extra months if I knew that by the end of it, it actually worked.
There'd be like a light at the end of the tunnel. Well, right now we're just running through a dark tunnel and there's more darkness.
No, it's worse than that. It's like running through a dark tunnel and someone ahead of you is turning off the lights to make it even darker.
And they're and they're like screaming back, "I'm doing my best!" as they just shatter more lights. We're almost there as they just break more lights. Non-political,
like-
by the way.
Not political. Not political. This is just
Imagine whichever candidate you like least shattering those lights.
yeah, honestly, because I, for me, I'm just kind of I'm just disappointed that these are the two options people
I
were
feel
given.
like we're gonna say that for every 4 years for the rest of our life.
Yeah, and you know what? I decided to jump that. I made my vote already, but I'm just disappointed at the two options that were presented to people. I kind of made my little. I think the only thing that's happened at the end of this is not political technically. The only thing that has happened at the end of this is that I just kind of got disillusioned. At this point, I think that's the one thing that happened to me in 2020. I just became really disillusioned pretty fast. in this whole
Yeah,
thing.
I mean it's pretty easy with how 2020's gone to feel disillusioned in it all and how the system works and everything.
So because of that, it's kind of like it makes me kind of like take away all the blinders, or not the blinders, but all the tint of my perspective has changed
Yeah.
because now I see things a bit more clearly how they are, and it kind of takes away all those kind of like previous conceptions I thought how the world worked and how, and now I just feel a bit more like, on one hand, I feel disappointed in the fact that this is how reality is. But on the other hand, I know that I'm better off knowing the truth.
It
And
it kind of feels like how you felt when you were a kid and you learned that Santa wasn't real. It's like
Yeah.
it kind of sucks to like lose the feeling of that, but it also feels good to not be lied to anymore and to like know the truth of the matter.
yeah, it makes me feel a bit more like a equal
Yeah.
with everyone else. It just makes me, because you know, the thing that hurts though is that I think the only thing that really hurt is that people were consensual. The thing that hurts is that when you find out that the reason that you learned Santa wasn't real is because of your own like observation, or you just kind of like got to the point where you realized that something isn't right,
Yeah.
and then you realize that everyone that you knew and loved
Had
was
been
in
lying
on
to
it.
you? Yeah.
Yeah, the whole time. It's kind of like, why would you do that to me?
Yeah, like I don't know if I'm gonna do that with my kids eventually because it's like I don't know if I feel about lying to them that way. Maybe I'll be like, oh, people think Santa brings you presents and that's like a cool idea, but like it's just a corporatist sort of thing for them to get more profits. And my kid
Yeah.
will be like, what do you mean? And I'm like, you'll understand eventually.
I don't know what. Okay, child, what would you think you would rather do? Because here's the thing. For me, my mom is kind of like, honestly, I kind of wish, in some way, that you can go back to when you didn't have to know about all these things. And you could just be,
So sort of like
innocent.
ignorance is bliss idea.
Yeah, because like whenever I talk about how I'm a little bit upset about, I talk about how I'm upset about things are and just my new perspectives on it. It kind of makes her sad because it's like, yeah, you shouldn't have to, think about these things at like 21. This is not the
Yeah.
thing that. And I think that's the only part that's like, yeah, it's true. And I think the hard part is that because I'm an overthinker, that's the real problem. Because I would, like, you think that I'd be satisfied with just knowing, like, oh, this is how things are? No, I'm like, why are things this way? Who's
Yeah.
causing this to happen? What can we do? What is being
And
done?
then it's like, oh, so this is why it's happening. But why are the people who are doing that doing that? And you're like, oh, so this is why they're doing that. But like, what's their end goal? It's like, oh, this is their end goal. But like, what if I'm wrong? And then you start the process all over again. Yeah. Oh,
And
it sucks.
no, the worst part is whenever someone else comes into your like a video or like an article comes into your life and it's like, yeah, but did you consider this? I'm like, what? No, that can't be. But then you look into it, it's like, oh, he wasn't or she wasn't kidding, and
And,
it's like,
and then,
crap.
then you just rapidly Google, like, wait a fucking
Yeah,
second. And
you,
you. And then you get a headache from like shattering your own preconceptions to just change your mind about something.
yeah,
Oh,
no, like at a certain point though, you get to the point where you're just joining new subreddits where you're trying to, reconfirm what you just learned, and then even those subreddits tell you new stuff. It's like, oh my gosh, it's even worse than I thought, or
yeah.
it's even more. Even if it's not worse, it's like it's even more
It goes
grand,
deeper.
goes deeper.
This is the
So,
Marianas Trench. There's no bottom.
the thing that has helped me though, I guess, is like there's this like I guess a stoic. I don't want to call it stoic, but it's just kind of more of this realization that I just can't control things, like like climate change in a way. Like as much as in the past I was like, oh, maybe I can do something to help climate change, and now I'm like, mm, maybe I can as an individual reduce like the one thing I or the couple things I do that might help, but am
But
I or me and my
yeah,
buddies gonna fix climate change like superheroes?
well, I think you can, but only by trying to change the people who actually can help. Like the
Exactly.
government or like all of the major corporations that do the most polluting of the world, like
You see,
trying to appeal to them to be like, hey, you know that thing we talked about in kindergarten called like empathy? Maybe you should like read about that a bit more, try to understand what it means. Like that can be helpful to try to like change other people who actually can do something. Because like yeah, climate change stuff like that. It's like me and you, we can't really do that much ourselves. We can recycle and like drive electric cars and stuff like that, but
yeah, but it's kind of like, how should I say? It's kind of the thing that hurts more is when you realize that, oh, it's actually getting faster than what we predicted. It's like,
yeah,
of course. So that's the thing that just hurts, because like crap. Well, even if I were to like tell everyone, hey, can we please, even if no, let's say I forced them, everyone, like let me be the dictator of the world and just like, yeah, no, we're doing this, and you're gonna, if you do it, great. If you don't do it, you don't exist anymore. Like, Thanos snap them. But it still wouldn't change it. What's going on? So that's the thing that makes you realize, like, well, crap. Well, how do I change my future, like to account for this? It's the thing. It's like when you're faced with like something that seems insurmountable, the first thing you think of is like, okay, well, if I can't change it, how can I mitigate it so I won't feel like as bad when it happens?
yeah.
You know? And then at a certain point you kind of realize like, well, crap, we're right now just thinking about like what pile of dirt do I want to hide under, um when the world comes to
It's like okay, so all of Florida is gonna be gone, but like I wonder like where I can go after it's gone. But I have to think about like will it flood or will it get too hot, and it's like, man, when I was 5 years old, I didn't think I'd have to think about this shit.
yeah, no, I was thinking more about like I want to be a marine biologist to study whales, and then
There might not
now
be
I'm like,
whales. Yeah.
yeah, and now I'm like, crap, all my favorite key species are gonna die because of all the keystone species that are dying out right now.
Or all the reefs. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's kind of like That's the thing that hurts. I don't know if there's really is an answer for that, outside of like hardcore political change.
And
But
even then, like if you change so drastically, it's gonna hurt like a ton of people, because those at the very top probably won't be hurt that much. They'll have to shut down their factories, but the people who rely on jobs for those factories, they're gonna, go hungry, or people in third world countries who their economy survives on importing resources to us, so like we can buy their stuff, or we can make it in our factories. Their economy might suffer,
yeah,
and
well,
there's no perfect way to solve this.
crap. Uh, yeah, and to prevent from going too further into politics,
Yeah, we're
uh,
listen, we're right on the edge.
we're skirting it, so I'm gonna hold back. I'm gonna hold back. I guess the one thing I can say right now is that at this point, I kind of am adopting the mindset of fate has what it has in store for me and everyone. I because the thing I believe I have come to believe in. This is not actually a politics one. This is just more of a philosophical one. I am at the point where I think that free will is technically possible, but like everything is predetermined at this point. Like I feel like I have free will, but I was always going to do the thing that I was about to do, even if I feel it, because of like previous conditions that I've been through and previous, experiences or family history that will compel me to do things in a certain way when given a set of options. It's like, how should I describe it? Here's the best way to describe it. Imagine I give you an AI, like AI for a video game, and the AI has the ability to do practically anything it wants in the video game, but when the player comes in front of the AI has no purpose, has nothing to do except to say like a certain line that it's going to see when it greets the user. Like I predefined what they're going to say to that person. Like as much as the AI might believe, like in the story wise, that the person or thing might believe it's talking to the player like any other thing, it was always going to be that way. And I feel like that's the same way with me, or like with life in general. Like yeah, you have the, how should I say, you have the illusion of feeling that you have free will, but because of previous histories or of chemical balances in your body or genetics, or even just where you grew up in your environment, like how that impacts you, are all like small calculations that bring up your probability to do one thing over another. And if you have a probability to do something more likely because of previous conditions, then you're going to do this, which affects your future decisions, and that ripples over and over and over again.
I get you. I just fundamentally disagree.
Yeah.
I think like things like math or like code or like machines can be predicted like that, based on what they are, what their function is, and what they're trying to do. But I think humans and like organic beings in general can't be predicted 100%. You can guess, and yeah, your guess might be accurate based on like what they usually do. Like someone could guess that I'm gonna go to bed around 2 a.m. because I usually go to bed around 2 a.m. That's true. But like sometimes I'll go to bed at like midnight. Sometimes I'll go to bed at 4 a.m. It really just depends. And I think the idea that people don't really have free will inherently leads to bad things.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, how should I say this? But here's the thing, though. Here's the funny thing. If you think that you don't have free will, you're going to act in a certain way. But if you still believe that you have free will, you're going to act in a certain way. And that was already predefined by your previous experiences and opinions on free will when I presented you that choice.
I mean, yeah. I mean, you could say that. I mean, like maybe my
I,
idea that people have free will is predetermined by my own circumstances, but I could always change my mind.
right. But what I'm trying to say is that in a metaphysical sense, which I guess doesn't really matter, but it kind of does like help me reassures myself, is that even when I feel like I'm having a choice, or if I'm worried about something going a certain way or another, I just think to myself, hey, whatever happens, happens. It was always meant to be that way. There was no other way it could have been.
I think it's
Different.
almost like escapism, almost like
Why is that?
you're putting the responsibility off of yourself, saying, "Well, there's nothing I could do. It was always gonna be that way." When I think every man has a choice in his life. Yeah, people might be constrained by how they were born or how they grew up, but everyone has the power to try and change their own life. Even if they're unsuccessful, they can try. But saying that, well, I was born poor, so I had no other choice, is like just so inherently wrong because it just lets people give up. Lets people just go with the flow and be abused by others who have more of a will to change. And like, I don't know why. It just like activates, it like triggers me almost, like what you're saying.
Yes.
Because it's like, I don't know, like saying that people don't have free will or that like things just happen and that there's that fate should be like followed just doesn't go with what I believe, because I believe like everyone should have their own choices, do anything they want in life, good
Well,
or bad. They have that prerogative.
no, here's the thing though. It's not a, how should I say? It's not a matter of, oh, hands off, like life is, you know, oh, I just gotta let life be. It's not so much in the sense of you absolve yourself of that choice. But for me, it's understanding that whatever consequences happen because of my choice, it was always meant to be that way. There was no other way it could have been any different. And even if I feel like, you know, my choice was through me alone, or if it was like brought by other circumstances, it makes me realize that, or even if I feel like, hey, I learned something from this choice and now I'm not going to do that thing again, or I learned differently, or because of this person I see things a different way, that interaction or that experience was always meant to be. So I kind of take it like a sense of reassurance, saying that whatever happens will happen, and I will learn something from it, or it's gonna be something that I will use to build myself further to the future, or determine what will happen in the future.
So do you
This,
believe in like fate or like a divine plan or something like that, or
I don't believe in like, how should I say? I don't know if it's a divine plan per se, but I do believe fate is real. It's kind of like that scene in, remember in Three Houses, when Byleth went back in time to try to save her or his father.
yes?
Um, like there was no other way that Geralt was going to survive that encounter.
Uh-huh.
That's the same way I feel. Yeah, you have the choice, technically, to save Geralt, but Geralt was always meant to die.
I just fundamentally disagree with you on that.
Yeah, yeah, I know.
There's no way we're gonna come to a happy conclusion.
No,
Because,
it
like,
won't.
I'm a very, I'm a very non-determinist kind of person. I don't believe fate or a divine plan exists. I think every person writes their own history and writes their own fate. I just don't agree
Well,
that things happen for any kind of reason. They happen because people will it to happen.
well, the thing about this is that when I don't try to live like I don't have a choice, though, that's the difference. Because it's more about it's like basing yourself back to the root when I say this. Because if I live my life, this is a personal choice, all right? This is my personal choice of saying I'm not going to make that the one thing in my head. If I live my life thinking that fate is the thing that will always decide everything, and like go hands off on it, then I kind of choose to be, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
All right? It's not really productive for the things that I want based off of my current experiences and my past experiences.
Mm-hmm.
So I choose, in a sense, that I'm not going to let that idea of fate will have for me what it has for me. I'll let just things go. Like if something, for example, if something bad happened to me, like someone stole my lunch money. Like let's take it back to like middle school, right? Like say yeah, technically that was always meant to happen in a sense that that guy was going to take my lunch money at that point in time when he saw me. But I can choose to either let this guy go on or to like, hey, give me back my lunch money or it's, you know, we're gonna fight right now.
So it's kind of like the analogy I'm going to use. It's kind of like D&D almost. Like when I write my story, you guys are always going to hit certain beats. Like in the last guy, the last game, you guys were always going to go to that abandoned village.
Mm-hmm.
But like how you guys tried to escape from the warden or how you fought the fog wolf were your choice. But then you were always going to talk to Rame's future self.
Yeah, I was always going to talk to him. I was always going to answer that way, even though I believe oh no, if I did things different, like if I ran away, I would be able to avoid Rame or the warden. No, that was always going to happen.
But like me, the storyteller, would go like, no, you do like for example, you were like, can I teleport away? And I'm like, you can try. And then like you like put a magic shield around yourself and was like, nope, get chained. Or like Jacob tries going underground. I'm like, nah, just move the ground itself. You know, you can't leave.
Yeah, no, that's the thing. Like technically, you know, but someone could say, oh, but Ejon, if you just like not gone into the forest, like gone to the building, you would have been fine. But then I could just tell the guy, look, man, you got my vote being the rational person who's cautious versus 3 impulsive teenagers. Who do you think's gonna make this deciding vote?
I mean,
I was always
if you guys hadn't have gone in the courthouse, I would have just been like, oh, the fog gets deeper and you hear something. I would just like kind of skipped over you guys seeing the people in the courthouse and just moved on.
Yeah, but that was going to happen regardless because.
So you kind of believe in like a storyteller almost.
Yes, like not so much. Maybe there's a storyteller or not, but in a sense, the story was always going to lead to this point. Like the choices in this little story that I'm given in this line of history I'm part of, they're mine. But that history was already, in a sense, set in stone based off of previous plot points or previous character developments. You know?
Yeah, and
that's what I mean.
And I agree with you somewhat. Like the past is kind of like that because we can't go back and change the past itself. So that's something that will always be with. Like every second that passes becomes the past, and I can't change what happened. But I believe that in the present, there's no such thing as a storyteller. That all of humanity is that storyteller.
Right. But collectively, that's like all of humanity collectively is that storyteller. But I'm not humanity. I'm Ejon.
But you're a part of it.
Exactly. I'm a part of humanity, but I'm not humanity itself. And therefore, the fate of humanity will flow through me. The fate of, you know, say if it was like, you know, say if it was God, the fate of God would flow through me. The fate of humanity would flow through me. The fate of whatever force, the universe, that would flow through me.
Yeah.
I'm only one node. I'm only one part of it. So yes, my choices are choices that I make, but they're choices in not so much in service of a higher goal, maybe. Like, I don't know. It could be. I just don't have anything to say is. But they are choices that contribute to the larger flow of history. You know? It's kind of like, how should I say this? Not one person in the world caused the George Floyd protests. Like no one person decided like,
yeah,
you know what? I'm going to riot and I'm going to bring everyone with me. Like,
I mean, that's kind of what I want to talk about. Like, you know, everyone is the storyteller here. We all have our own pens. And I agree that one pen, one writer, one human by itself can't really do that much. I mean, even if their pen is huge, someone like Donald Trump or like Vladimir Putin, they have huge pens, but they still can't write over the whole story. No one's that powerful. But I think like collective effort, like multiple people, multiple pens, multiple writers joining together can change things. Like just accepting what other people write in for you will lead to complacency and nothing will ever change. And I mean, you're not saying to just follow fate or whatever. I get that. But I think the kind of attitude, the kind of world you're describing would lead many to go to sort of a nihilistic view of nothing matters because I can't change things because I'm just one weak person. Well, I guess I'm more of an optimist in the sense that I think, yeah, you might just be one weak person, but together you can make something better, to make actual change.
Right. Like, I guess what I'm trying to say is, maybe not to put it in. Let me put it in a way that's a little bit more helpful for people to maybe take away from something rather than continue on this metaphysical journey. I think you can choose to be part of a flow. You know, there's streams of which you can decide which branch you want to go down. You can't necessarily control where the stream's going to lead you, but you can feel that choice of deciding I'm going to go on this branch of the stream over another. And where it leads you, it will lead you, and you'll make your other choices further and further more. But the stream leads to the same place no matter what. Like, it's kind of like you have two branching streams, all right? Like, you're here, and then you decide to go here, and you maybe do like a little detour, maybe you get stuck on a branch, and there's another stream right there. And then eventually, say you get to the end of the stream and it brings you right back to the same point, right? Your choices mattered, like how you got to that point. That does matter. But the overall flow was, do a little bit of effort, you got to that point that you're always meant to be on. Same thing through the D&D. All right?
Yeah, and I get you, but I mean, you see my philosophy of all this in the Sorcery D&D game, because it's kind of about choice and trying to change things. Like, you know, I believe choices are like a delta. You know, it's many different choices all fanning out in different directions, but all kind of heading the same way, but some can veer off and create their own thing. But I think at the end of that, you know, estuary system, that delta, there's nothing. There's nothing there. But only when you start getting closer will things be put in. Because I don't believe anything is predetermined, personally. And that's just a difference. We have an opinion. Like, you're with your example. If you're here and there's only two paths before you, then I believe at the end of both paths will be different results, personally. Yeah. I mean, they could possibly lead to the same thing, but I think that's more of a rare example. Like in a video game, if it's like, oh, take path left or path right, and both paths meet at the same exact ending because the developers got lazy, yeah, they both lead to the same thing, but they're inherently different choices because of what happens on those paths.
Right.
And you come out different. And like, I agree with you there, but I don't think that's the majority of choices. I don't think it's ever a binary, or even if it's not two, I don't think they ever end up in the exact same thing. Because people change along the way, which means that they have different choices, and that choices is a thing, you know?
Right. I guess, and because of this is what I'm trying to say. I don't think you should live with the idea that your choices are predetermined. I don't think it's healthy, because then, this is my opinion I'm putting onto people. I don't think it's healthy just because you lose that sense of agency, and I find that agency is one of those core things making people happy next to camaraderie and mastery over something. You know, those are very important things to feel happy in life. And also, I guess what I mean by camaraderie, love, friendship love, or romantic love, however. But you need that sense of agency so you can live a life that you feel more comfortable with. I think that I believe in that. So don't take it like, oh, Ejon says that there's no purpose, or the things that I'm telling you is they're always going to be that way, so I might as well just continue doing the things the way they are now. No. Do your choices. But whenever you feel doubt, or whenever you feel like, man, if I had done this, you know what this is handy for? Is when you feel regret. That's where it becomes handy to understand this principle, you know? Or whenever you feel like I'm in the bad timeline, you know?
I think this is like a coping mechanism almost. Like, because that kind of
I would rather people use it as a coping mechanism than the alternative that you're saying, which is use it as a way to direct your life.
Yeah, like if you're looking at the past, there is nothing you can do to change those past events. You can still change the outcomes. But like if I was bullied, well, I was. If I was, I was bullied in middle school. There's nothing I can do about that now, but I can deal with the scars it leaves behind on me, and my thoughts on it. I can't go back and change all that. That's just how it was. And I agree with you. Yeah.
Yeah, I'd rather people use it as a coping mechanism than as a way to direct their choices. Because that's more valuable in my eyes than, using it as a way to say, like, well, fate's going to decide what happens to me. So, because actually, the thing is, technically, that deciding to say, oh, fate has what it has for me is a choice. It's a negative choice, or it's a non-action, but a non-action is an action. Gosh, I got so...
What?
I got it. Sorry, I was just thinking. I'm becoming this crap. Sorry, guys. I'm just messing up my stream camera. I'm becoming this guy at this point nowadays.
What the hell is that?
Okay, so yeah, this is a good time. This is story time, everyone. Story time. Ejon, had a really good experience when he was 17. Let me make this clear. It's not like I born and died in the U.S. and never ventured out.
Yeah.
I was fortunate enough to go to Nicaragua as part of an initiative by the U.S. State Department. And with that, I didn't get this in Nicaragua. I got this in Dominican Republic because there was also like a trip to Dominican Republic and Nicaragua. But I got this, and this was called a thinker. Like it was one of like the kind of statues that the native people in Dominican had. And I got this one just because when I saw this, it immediately thought of me. Because at first I thought, oh, this guy's wearing headphones, like, cool, he's wearing headphones and he's just like vibing, beast listen / study to. The more I look at him, the more this becomes me sometimes when I'm thinking over these things. And again, this is what I meant by earlier about like overthinking, because about climate change and all that stuff. I would end up like this guy, just paralyzed in a sense by all the things you can think of. And at a certain point you realize, hey, is this guy healthy? Are you all right? Is this beneficial? Sometimes I like to remind myself.
Yeah. I mean,
yeah.
I would really recommend you to write about it, honestly. Like, I don't write about these topics. They're just on my mind. And I find when I'm thinking about this kind of thing, when I write for D&D, it really helps me sort through my own ideas and what I actually think. And like, writing fiction kind of lets you disassociate from it so it doesn't feel as pressing. But if you write like a theme about that sort of thing, it can still help you get through it. But that's just kind of my way of dealing with my own thoughts, because I get so crippled sometimes just by sitting there staring off into space being like, fuck, what's the meaning of life? Well, I was like, okay, let me go write like a poem, or just go write anything like for D&D just to get this out of my own brain right now. And then it helps me sort of sort through it. Like I was talking about, my ideas on like destiny, I've really portrayed in my game of sorcery, and that's a way for me to vent my own philosophical ideas about it, because like those thoughts are important. I don't want to throw them out. Like they're important because I think about them. But I also don't want to just be crippled by them, sitting there just wondering. It's a way to help me think about it. Others, they might think while they're exercising or while they're creating like a sculpture or painting. People have their own ways of expressing things, but I think any form of expression is better than just sitting there and thinking about it, personally.
Yeah, because for me the problem is like I would go on Reddit and then I'll listen to all these people and like, wow, that's a lot to think in. I guess I'm just gonna sit here and think about what that means and what I should do from now on my life. That said, I do find that in some way that they're this kind of the overthinking is not beneficial, but thinking is beneficial.
Yeah.
Because like at the end of it, I come to myself finding that I I find myself going back to the things that I realize are more important. Like after overthinking these past 2 months, I find that the things I really needed to do was like, yeah, learn to like myself and take care of myself. You know, like go and like be a bit more honest and take myself with a bit more integrity. But also other things are a bit more actionable. Like, hey, meditating will help you not having these stirring thoughts in your head. It will help you like clear your mind for a bit. Journaling and writing, like you said, and reading, like because I find that one of the things I had a problem, or at least I find, is that like for me playing video games or watching anime, it's good, but it also feels kind of like, in a sense, empty in a way. Not always, because like when I listen, good anime and good stuff is like art, good stuff. Art, I come away with something. But when I'm like, some days when I play Animal Crossing, it's like, bro, this is just empty. But when some other days I'm playing Animal Crossing, I'm like, well, worth the $40, worth the $50. But the reason I get that is because sometimes I just feel like, hey, was I really getting anything out of this? Did I really come away with something that I valued, or am I just passing time? And I think in some way overthinking kind of does that, but it's even worse than Insidious because you actually feel like you're productive, but you're not. That's the worst part.
I think like I really had a problem, especially because like all my classes are asynchronous, so I pretty much get everything done in like the first 2 days of the week. And then for like back at the beginning of all this, I was like, I would just sit there and be like, oh my god, I feel so unproductive. What the fuck am I doing? I can't just play games all week. But nowadays I'm like, I don't need to be trapped by productivity. Like, yeah, I'm playing a game for 6 hours straight and just watching Netflix on the side of it, just some random shit on. But I'm doing that because I can. It's like, why should I care about being productive? Who's my master that's making me like think these thoughts? It's like, be gone. I don't want you here. You're making me stressed out. And like that might be like escapism almost. But like I know what I'm doing is just kind of killing time a lot of times, because like I will play, like I've been playing Nier Automata recently, and that game's great. Like it has a lot of philosophical meaning. It looks beautiful. The combat's fun. But sometimes I'll just play RimWorld for like 10 hours straight, and I don't really do much. I just kind of run my colony and be like, oh, I want to build a cool base for all these people who live here. It's fun, but it's not saying anything about humanity, or like it's not art. But like I think that's okay, because sometimes I need a break from overtaxing my brain, and just being able to shut it off and like listen to music or watch some shows or YouTube is nice, because otherwise I'll sit there just like overheating my brain with headaches and steam coming out of my ears, being like, oh god, the world is so fucked, I'm gonna die eventually. Oh god, nothing is permanent, nothing really matters. And then I'm just like, nope, not dealing with that right now. I'll deal with that over time and slowly, because that'll break me if I try to do it all at once.
No, that's the thing. I attempted to do that.
Yeah, I've tried it before. It's not a fun time.
It's not pretty. The thing I came out of it was, it's like, it's a good thing to think about. You know how there's like the Loch Ness monster?
Yeah.
So it's technically a mystery. You don't know if the Loch Ness monster really exists or not.
It's probably not real, but yeah.
Right. We can think it's probably not real, but but there's no definitive proof saying it isn't. Or actually, that's not bad. That's not a good example, but like,
how about like God?
Okay, sure. Well, let's take God, I guess.
I mean, there's no proof like one way or the other, really. It's like just up to what you believe.
It really is. So it's a mystery, really, and you can choose. In a sense, well, actually, you really can't choose to believe something as much as you would want.
Keep going with your analogy.
Well, okay. So, what I'm trying to say is, when you feel these ways where you know that it's technically a mystery, there's not really a way for you to prove one way or another. I find that the mystery, solving the end of the mystery isn't important. It really isn't. Because if you solved it, it's like, okay, but people can still disagree, or it's like, whatever, move on to the next thing. the actual answer doesn't matter. It's the process of going through finding the answer that matters. Find the answer to like what am I going to do with my future, like trying to figure out like how to like min-max, everything like for climate change. The answer probably doesn't matter whatever you come to, because whatever you come to is not accurate of how the future will actually be. It's kind of like, what do you think you are? You think you're God that you can just like, I'm gonna just peer in with my magical, binoculars to see into the future, or like, oh, you're a fiction writer, like who wrote Stands on Zanzibar, and then you apparently predicted like a crap ton of things in the future.
Back when we were freshmen, we thought like, okay, we're gonna go through early college, we're gonna get our degree 2 years after that, then we're gonna go do this. It's like, yeah, that goal has changed,
Yeah, it's like you don't know. You're not going to be the same person that you are now. I won't be the same person I am now. Yeah. So, or I won't be in the same situation. I might not even be in this house.
Yeah.
When like 2 years, 3 years, 5 years, likely. Maybe I am. But the point I'm trying to say is that actually solving the mystery doesn't really matter. Like solving the mystery, oh, what am I going to do with my life? No, it don't matter. The thing that actually matters more is doing the things that you're doing now and what you like doing. Because that compounds into you doing things that you'll like in the future, instead of thinking about what you would like in the future. I think that's the best way to describe it. Instead of thinking about, oh, how do I save myself from climate change, and like, how do I make myself, more resilient for the future? Instead of focusing what you can do for the future, just think like, what can you do right now for you right now? What's going to help you right now? Because the future is not determined. You might die tomorrow.
A meteor might be falling from the sky right now, and I could die in mere moments. I don't know.
Maybe there's a full-on civil war, and in the next 2 months, I'm going to get shot and die. Who knows? But the point that matters is not about, oh, what should I do to protect myself in the future? And I think that's a problem. I think that's just a tendency I have because of my personality. Like, I'm very much security-oriented.
Yeah.
Minimize risk.
I love the adventure of life. I'm not security oriented at all.
Yeah, no.
But go ahead.
But that's the thing. I find that really the fun part. It's like when I was playing Legend of Zelda. The fun part was not actually completing the whole map. The fun part was actually
the journey.
Yeah. That was the actual fun part. Like I remember getting lost in the southeast region of the map, trying to find the Farron Tower. And it's in the jungle.
Like jungle out there with the giant lightning serpent coming through and all those lizards. Yeah, it's crazy.
I didn't even know there was a tower. I knew that there was a tower, but I didn't know where it was. And I was just kind of like, I'm gonna just like see if I can find it.
I'm just gonna walk that way and just see what happens. Yeah.
Yeah. And I was fighting more monsters. By the time I saw the tower, I was like, oh,
there it is.
Look at that.
Yeah, found it. Yeah.
When I got to the last tower, that's actually what made me feel sad.
Because it's like, damn, there's no more journey.
Yeah, it's like, I mean, but the thing that made me realize, like, well, now I get to, you can just give yourself a new journey. My new journey is to walk through the entire map
or to find dying. Like all the shrines without looking at a map. It's like, okay, where the hell would the shrine be?
Use only the shrine meter.
Although the problem with that is some of them are hidden behind like side quests.
Yeah.
But that's mostly like around towns.
I find the ones that I like the most are the shrines that are hidden behind like walls or other nature things.
I remember there was one up in the top left of the map in the Hebra Mountains that was like you had to go. It was like you feel it and you like you're on top of this mountain. You're like, where the hell is it? You can't find it. Then there's this like ice cold river flowing next to you, and I noticed that sometimes a log falls into it. I'm like, wait a minute. And I jump down on the log and I see that like I can use Cryonis to get into this little tiny cave like on the side of the mountain you wouldn't see. Get in there, and then there's like a single torch, and then I have to do this like jumping puzzle to get to the shrine that's just underground. And I'm like, that was cool. And I go in, it's just one of those ones where you like get it like immediately.
Yeah.
But the journey of trying to figure it out without being told, it made me feel so like fulfilled. Like, yeah, I got it. And like getting the shrine didn't matter, really, because I just walked in, went ding, and just got it and left. But like finding the shrine was so cool, and that's the journey of it all.
You know what my favorite shrine was? The island shrine.
Eventide? Like, yeah, it was so much fun.
That's been my favorite one because it's like I was just like, oh look, there's an island. Let's just and I had like a giant kokoro leaf, and I had
And
the bow.
you're on the boat. And you just go
Like
to get over
oh
there.
cool. I wonder why they had this island over here. It's like, and the guy's like, haha, you've been going really well for all your items lately.
Yoink!
I was like, what? It's like you have your hey, look on the bright side. You still have your stamina and your hearts,
And
That's
your
it.
bombs, which were integral for
and yeah, your bombs.
for
I
my
was like,
run of that. Yeah.
you know what? Honestly, the bombs didn't really help me as much as my first run. I actually died, and the bombs didn't do anything. What helped me more was like when I got through the second run. I was like, okay, first thing I'm going to do is steal from the giant. That was the first thing I should have done. And when I took care of that, I was like, the thing I liked about it, it made me feel like I was like I felt like Rambo. I felt like I was Rambo.
Yeah, you just put some mud under your eyes, like, let's do this.
Because I was like just naked. I didn't have anything, and the only thing I had was just my wits. And I just like, I remember using a bomb to take out an entire group of what were they, moblins or goblins? I don't know.
Bokoblins.
Goblins. I remember taking. Yeah, I used that bomb to like knock down the TNT barrels that they had next to them.
Yeah.
And I remember like after seeing them like die after burning alive, it was like I took their guts and I took their bows and their spears and like now I'll go for them again.
Yeah.
Oh, I remember lining up a shot where I was like sniping the enemy tower base.
Yeah.
I was just sniping all of them. It's like pew, pew. And by the time I got walking up to them, I just like I charged up my my broadsword, the rusty broadsword.
Yeah.
It was an instant one kill, and no one else heard it.
Yeah.
It was like, I am Rambo now. That was the
Yeah.
best feeling.
That's such the opposite of how I did it, because I went like full aggro, sprinting across the island, and because I saw a metal crate on a cliff, and I'm like, I could kill them with that, and I run up the cliff, and they're all like, Link, and then I just grab the metal crate, and I go, and just beat them to death with it, and then I actually killed the giant Cyclops by just smashing him with it, like smacking him across the face.
No, I tried to do that with the metal crate, and it didn't work. I tried my hardest, but the metal crate broke. His face was just too strong after a while.
Yeah, it like broke after a while for me, and then I just did a thing of throw bomb, run, and then I just like kited him all the way up to the camp on the cliff or whatever, and then I'm like, fuck, there's nowhere else to run, so I just circle him around as he's like beating me to death, and I finish him right as he's about to kill me. It was so much fun.
What do you get after killing them?
The Hinox, you get their guts, toenails, eyeball, and any weapons that were left on them.
Nice.
But killing them is good because if you make potions out of their stuff, they're really powerful and they sell for a huge amount of money, which is useful. But you didn't have to kill them to like. I think I've seen a person like stealth Eventide, like fully like stealth it, and it's like that. The challenge is so nice because like it doesn't really matter how you put the three balls like in the little circles. It's like, okay, how do you face the challenge? And everyone starts at the exact same place, and it's like, go, and it's so much fun.
Yeah, no, that island's great. I think the only thing that sucks is coming back to the island, because then all the enemies are back there. It's like, what's up? It's like, I thought you were all dead. It's like, nah, we were just here to make it easy on you.
My death was greatly exaggerated. Yeah.
It's like we use Juche Magic. Juche Decker's
Yeah. One thing you would like if you like the Eventide, if you get the DLC for Breath of the Wild, one of the things that's included is the sword trials, where you power up the Master Sword. Have you gotten the Master Sword yet, by the way?
I don't have enough hearts to get it.
Okay. You need 13, by the way.
Oh.
You power up the Master Sword by going into it, and like the like monks give you trials where you have no gear. And it's like, okay, you're in an empty field, kill all of the enemies, and you start with like literally a tree branch, and you have to go through like dozens of these trials, and eventually you'll get more like weapons and stuff, but you'll like almost never get armor, or if you do, it's like the like warm doublet, just because you're going to a cold area. And like they're so hard, but they're so rewarding. because like you know that you like overcame it with like a fucking tree branch, like a bokoblin bow, and that's in like a pot lid, and you managed to kill like 10 Lizafrosts, and it's like, yeah, I got him. It's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun.
No, I bet. I think that's the thing I like about Breath of the Wild. It's just,
it feels scrappy, you know.
Yeah.
Like, do you get what I mean by like saying that?
Well, I guess when I think about scrappy, it feels like there's no right way to do it.
Yeah.
And it feels almost like it's not like a DIY adventure.
Yeah. It's not like other Zelda games where you'll go into a dungeon, you have the Master Sword and Shield, and like maybe 1 or 2 tools, and just to kill enemies in a very specific way. Breath of the Wild, it's like, I don't know, here's some tools, do what you want with it, just like anything. And by scrappy, I mean it's like, well, maybe that's just how I played, because sword fights were not things that I often got into. Because it's like,
Really?
This is dangerous. Why don't I just like sneak up and stab him in the back, or throw a bomb over there and just snipe him, or just like my favorite thing to do. I spent all of my fucking money on it was bomb arrows,
Oh yeah.
and I just go like, die, and just like, yeah, it's not a fair sword duel, but like, who'd be stupid enough to like do a sword duel?
Hey, I actually did sword duels with the moblins. The ones that are like
The like
200
big
health.
guys, yeah, moblins, yeah.
No, not those. The ones that are like 200 health, but they're like the same height as Link.
Bokoblins?
The bokoblins.
Yeah, the little pig guys, yeah.
Yeah, I like doing sword fight with them. Not often, because it was risky. Don't get me wrong, it was actually risky. But I like to use those like split second moves, like the parry.
The like flurry rush, yeah.
And that flurry rush, and also doing horseback fights.
Yeah, those are fun.
Those are tough. But I like them because if you nail it, like I remember one time I did a spear on someone and that hit them, but it didn't do a direct shot. And then I jumped off my horse, did a backflip, hanged on the air glider, and then after
you just
that I
plumb
jumped
it with the spear, yeah.
No, better. I did 2 shots with the arrow, and then I plumbed with my sword.
With like the finishing blow, yeah, it's fun.
That
one's have you fought a Lionel yet? The like centaur lion guys.
Yeah. Oh, you know what's funny? Do you know the last? Okay, in the top corner of the map, like in the top, there's like this tower that's like the frost tower. It's like really cold in that
Hebra,
area.
the like top left mountains, yeah.
Right. I finished that, and I came down the path where you would actually enter Hebra usually if you were walking by.
And you went to the like giant snow plains, right?
Yeah, and then I walked down to the place where Link got his memory. But before that, there was a Hinox and
a Lionel.
A Lionel, and they're right between me. It was like one on one side, the other on the other side. I'm like, shoot.
Yeah.
And the thing that you know the thing that scared me the most? I actually had the Link's tunic, so I can actually see their health.
Oh, they have immense health. Yeah, it's
and when
crazy.
I saw that, I was like, I can't win.
Yeah.
I didn't beat the first one when I had the chance in the Zora's Domain.
Yeah.
I knew I couldn't win, so I just like. Here's the thing that hurts though. I thought I could run away from the Lionel, but instead the guys.
No.
But
they just pull out a bow like you could not run.
And the best part, they're accurate as hell. Yeah. I can't. I thought I whipped so far away. It's like, he can't get a direct shot. Hail Marys.
No, they are like snipers.
This is the possible.
Lionels are like the ultimate challenge in the game. Like the silver gold Lionels, which are the most health one, were honestly harder than Ganon himself to me. And like
I don't know how to beat them.
Okay,
the only thing I think of is spam bomb arrows, but
a really good place to test it is near the plateau. There's Outland Stable or something like that. It's in Central Hyrule, but it's near a Colosseum. You'll be able to see the Colosseum on the map in the Central Hyrule Tower area. And always in after a blood moon or whatever, a Lionel will spawn in the middle of the Colosseum, just like a one-on-one fight between you and him. And I beat him, but it was a really hard-fought battle. because you have to do like perfect dodges to get those flurry rushes, or you have to like headshot him like 3 times in quick succession. So you can like run over, get on his like mount him, and then smack him in the back with your weapon.
Right.
And like, man, and like one of their moves they do is if you get like to medium distance, they'll just start screaming fire at you, like ginormous waves of fire, and you just have to run so you don't die. It's so much fun fighting those guys, but it like I lose all of my weapons trying it. But Lynel weapons are like the best in the game, honestly.
Honestly, it's just crazy. Those, I would rather go with like fighting them versus like the ancient sentinels. I would take the ancient sentinel, like the major tests of strength.
Yeah.
I would take like 3 major tests of strength for one Lynel. They're not even fair. At least they have a pattern. The Lynels are just.
The Lynels have like 20 different moves, so you can never like predict them. And like Lynels with different like weapons have different moves. Like if you see one with a sword and shield, he's gonna have different moves than the guy with the big club. And my God, the guys with the big clubs are so dangerous.
That's the one I got the first time.
Because they're like so aggressive. They will never stop hunting you.
The only way I was able to like kind of survive is by using Cryonis. Just so I can so they couldn't hit one shot at me.
Yeah.
And luckily I had Memphis Grace prior to this.
Yeah, Memphis Grace comes in handy so often.
Like Daruk's protection is nice and all, but honestly it gets in the way of me just using a normal shield.
Yeah, and like later on I want to like perfect blocking Guardian lasers and like shooting them back, and it's like, Daruk, get out of here! I want to do it myself, but he'll be like, "Ooh," and just do it for me.
It's like, thanks, Daruk. It's like, don't worry, man. It's like I didn't, whatever.
Yeah, I mean, it's nice when you're trying not to die, but when you're actually trying to like get good, it kind of sucks.
You know, I think Daruk's protection is kind of like teaching you, like, hey, man, we don't actually want you to fight with a sword first off in the game.
Yeah,
I think maybe that was the purpose of it. Is like, please spam your arrows unless absolutely necessary for you to use a sword.
Yeah, and like Revali's Gale was so useful because it just made exploration. Oh, okay. I would recommend going and doing the Rito place, because what it is you can hold X, which is the jump button, and Link will crouch for a second, and like these like spirit orbs will appear around you, and then you'll be shot like 100 feet straight up into the air and automatically take out your paraglider. It's so useful for crossing like giant canyons or just getting up mountains, because I can just like air jump straight up.
Dude,
it's
I know
really
what I'm going to do
useful.
now. I'm going, you know that, I got to the tower where Rito would live, and there's that guy who's stuck up in the tower who's trying to track how far I can go.
Yeah.
Once I get that, I'm going to go back to him. It's like,
that does make it easier because you go so much higher. Yeah.
Yeah, because I got like what, maybe 500 rupees out of him one time.
Yeah.
Going like 600 feet or 600 meters, and I imagine I can probably get like double that if I had that.
And also, that is like a lot easier if you come prepared with like stamina, food, or like potions to keep you in the air longer.
How much stamina do you have? Because I have 2 circles.
One thing you have to realize is that like in the game, you can't have max health and max stamina at the same time. You have to choose. So you can either have like 20 hearts or 3 full rings of stamina, because you can have three rings in total. I chose stamina myself because like if I'm wearing good armor, then I don't need much more health than like this 18 that you can get if you have full stamina. While stamina, it's like you need as much of it as you can to like climb mountains.
That's what I was thinking.
Yeah, that's just what I chose.
Like I'd rather be able to get beat up really quickly if you killed me like directly.
And also you have those foods that give you like bonus hearts, those like yellow hearts.
Yeah, like those are even better. It's like, shoot, the only thing I need to do is just like get myself one of those plus 10 hearts, and then me.
One thing you should know is an easy way to make like full health potions essentially is getting like a single hearty truffle and mixing it with like a single piece of meat to make like a +1 golden heart thing. Any plus golden heart thing will automatically fill your health bar completely. That really helped during Ganon, because I didn't want to go around getting like the best stuff. I wanted a few quick like full health stuff. So I just got a single hearty truffle and a single piece of meat, which I can buy at the store in Hateno Village, and I just mash them together. It's like boom, quick instant health.
You know, speaking of Hateno Village, you know the first thing I did after I got Mipha's Grace?
What?
I bought a house.
Yeah, the house is nice.
Yeah, that was the first thing I was like, you saying I could buy a house?
And one thing that's funny is, if you haven't seen it, Age of Calamity is set before Breath of the Wild, like the 100-year, time skip or whatever. It's a game that's coming out soon. But apparently the house you buy is actually Link's old house from 100 years ago. So they made you buy and renovate your own goddamn house. Because like you've been gone for 100 years, they're just gonna tear it down, and then you have to pay 3K rupees to buy your own goddamn house back.
I mean, I guess it's better than nothing, but still.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay, I have a question. Does Zelda come back in the game, like as a
very end?
Because I kind of wanted to like
in Breath
take
of the
her
Wild.
To my house.
Yeah, in Breath of the Wild 2, if you've seen the like one trailer they put out, Link and Zelda are traveling together, so she's going to be in the game as a more prominent role, which is nice. But you do get to, if you get the DLC for Breath of the Wild, you get to see like flashbacks to the pre-100 years and like your travels with her a little bit, which is nice. And you also get a motorcycle, which is cool.
Cool. I mean, for me, the thing I wanted to do is just the, like, I can come see Zelda at the house anytime while she's...
And just like talk to her, yeah, because she's like a pretty integral figure. But for most of for literally all of Breath of the Wild until like the final boss fight, she just kind of like, she's in Hyrule Castle like fighting Ganon, I guess.
Yeah, like I don't know how they're gonna explain how she's been alive for 100 years.
Magic. They don't have to explain shit. Magic.
Oh wow, you already explained it to me.
Yeah. There you go, magic. But like Impa's like a shriveled up little like ball of a person at this point.
No, like that. I'm expecting that to come see like Zelda like an old woman,
like just like decrepit. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm expecting that.
But also that runs into a problem because like in Zelda lore, like every single incarnation of Zelda is descended from a previous one. So she would need to have kids to continue the cycle, and then they can't just kind of like end it, because they could have more games.
So, is Link is just one?
He's just he just like reincarnated into like random people.
Reincarnated?
Yeah, because like the Zelda lore goes that like at the beginning of all this, there was the three goddesses who made the world and the Triforce and all that. And then there was the goddess Hylia, who was like the goddess of like mankind and like all the races and such. Goddess of life, essentially. Yeah. And then there were the demons led by the demon lord Demise, who was like, I want to just destroy creation and rule over it. Typical demon stuff. And then Hylia tried to fight him. She managed to seal Demise away, but she got hurt herself. And she's like, okay, I'm going to go up to the godly plane now. But I'm going to infuse you, priestess, with my blood. And you, my most faithful knight, will be reborn forever to protect her and fight the demons. And when Demise, and then later, Zelda, like that, her bloodline starts, where the blood of the goddess flows through each Zelda's veins. And Link is just reincarnated into someone who's like bold and courageous, just kind of randomly.
So he just takes their body or whatever?
Well, no, it's kind of like his soul just goes into like a new baby, essentially. And just like, I am Link now. But he doesn't like remember his past lives. He just has the like hero's spirit and all that, like courage and all that stuff. What's it called?
But they look like Link all the time.
Yeah, just because they want to keep their like marketing or something. I don't know. But the Links do look different, like at least somewhat. But then later during Skyward Sword, which is the first canonical Zelda game, Demise, the like demon lord, comes back, and he like kidnaps Zelda and all that usual stuff. Link fights him at the end and actually just stabs him through the chest and kills him. Also in that game, you forge the Master Sword by like getting the Triforce and making the Master Sword. And Demise is like, okay, you might kill me, but my hatred's gonna live on forever. I'm gonna get reincarnated, and I'm gonna fight you and Zelda for all eternity. And that's how Ganondorf happened. Like every few generations, Ganondorf just like, I'm the incarnation of literal Satan himself, and just
from the Gerudo.
Yeah. But it's
which
not.
I understood.
I don't know. And what's odd is like the Gerudo barely even have male children. Like 1 in 1,000 Gerudo kids are male. And like have you been to Gerudo Town in Breath of the Wild yet?
Yeah, but I haven't been inside because I don't have the dancer dress.
Yeah. Because like the majority of them are female, but any male who's born into them is considered their like leader for like a time. You know, that's how Ganon is always leader of the Gerudo people, because when he's born, he's the only male.
I gotta say, look, not to be like the evil person here, but if you know that certain people are gonna continuously bring up Ganon from their village,
it's not like even that like the Gerudo are the problem. Ganon's supposed to be just be born in people who were like destined to be full of hatred. It just happened to be Ganon multiple times.
Yeah, but why is it always using the Gerudo that he
probably like racial issues over at Nintendo, honestly. Like making the like only black people in the entire fucking series the like bad ones.
Well, I can't say that because you have the new they have the other elves. Are they even elves? I don't know, but
there's like humans and there's like Hylians. I think like in Breath of the Wild, if you go to the bottom right near Faron, that like one fishing village, they're like
they're just humans.
Yeah, they're just humans. But like back in Ocarina, like pretty much everybody was white.
Yeah.
And the Gerudo were the only dark-skinned people, and they were obviously just like, these are Arab people because they lived in a desert and had like that specific type of music and dress. And it's like, these are the bad guys. And it's like, oh, okay, well, we're doing that. And then they just kept it because marketing.
Yeah. I just find it kind of honest, like, well, like at a certain point, it'd be like, well, dang, I mean, the Hylians know that it's always going to come from the Gerudo. Why not just, like, not to be that guy, but why not just keep a good eye on the Gerudo and, like, hey, you want to, like, form a pact to, like, not have Ganon come back?
Be like, any Gerudo male will be like instantly shot like straight into prison. Just yeet the baby,
No, yeah, like basically just have an agreement like any Gerudo male must be killed. Otherwise, you're not part of the Empire, and we'll have to like.
The like Zelda government has always like perplexed me. Like, are the Gerudo like they have like a chief? So are they independent, or are they like a vassal state, or like I don't know. It's weird.
I would rather. I'm not saying. I would wish that Breath of the Wild or like another one would be a bit more like, hey, let's talk about the politics of how, the Zelda Empire works. Like, is it an empire? Is it just?
It's called the Kingdom of Hyrule. So it's a kingdom of some kind.
Well, I mean, he has control over the Hylian land, but
like, does he control the Zora or the Rito or the Gorons?
Because they have their own king.
Yeah, and like the Gorons have their own chief, and the Zora have their big giant whale guy, and all that. And like, I wish they went into that a bit more, but it doesn't seem to be a priority for Nintendo. They just want to make games. I guess they don't want to like world build.
It's just kind of pathetic. Like, you're gonna,
I think they're just not trying to go for the audience of like sweaty nerds who want to be like, yes, tell me how your government works. They just want to be like the people who like, yeah, I want to go into a field and fight some monsters. More of like that kind of crowd.
I think that's it.
So,
which I guess not that bad, but there's people like
sweaty nerds out there, like me and Ejon, who want to analyze
playing your
the,
games
deeper
for
meanings.
so long.
Yeah.
Imagine people who've been playing Zelda since the beginning. How can they?
When did the original Zelda come out? When
was
did
82,
the
right?
Legend of Zelda come out? February 21st, 1986. Let's say someone played it when they were 5 years old. They were born in 81. They would be 39 right now. Wow. That's a long time ago. Jeez.
Yeah.
Man. And like imagine still playing Zelda and like it man.
Imagine dying, like, at like 60, or like like we're 80 years old playing Zelda. It's like, this game's been through all my life for so long.
I was born on the day the first one released. Yeah. Man. God, that's probably gonna be me with like a few game series. It's like they've existed throughout like since like when I was a kid, and they're probably gonna exist like forever. It's like, oh god, time
Like
is
CS:GO.
terrifying.
Or TF2.
Yeah. Jeez.
Or Halo. Shoot.
Yeah, honestly.
Wasn't Halo released in like what, 2000 or?
Combat Evolved. When did Halo not Reach? Halo release. November 15, 2001. Man, we were both like what, 1-2 years old at that point.
Mm-hmm.
Jeez. And Halo's probably going to continue on for a long time to come. I don't see it really ending anytime soon. It just makes too much money.
Kind of can't really go anywhere. And the thing that sucks about it is like, I mean, I haven't played in a while, but I don't know. Like after Halo 3, there's not really any games out of Halo series I would want to play.
It just kind of feels the same, you know?
Yeah, it's like Call of Duty.
Yeah.
It's kind of like Call of Duty. Shoot, what am I feel like there should be something else we should be talking about.
Yeah, I've been kind of feeling the same way. It's like, I want to talk about something, but I don't really know what. This is the problem with us not, like, setting up topics beforehand. And we've also been going for, like, 2 hours at this point. So maybe we're just feeling burned out.
Yeah, probably that.
Yeah, we just kind of end it if you want.
Sure. Hey, thanks for listening to this live stream Tangent Podcast, guys.
Yeah.
If you're still here, I just want to say thank you.
How many viewers do we have? We have 2 concurrent viewers, but hey, we had 4 about 10 minutes ago. That's the most we've ever had. And we've had 7 playbacks, meaning some people have joined the stream and went back to start from the beginning.
Whoa, that.
Our average watch time is like 35 minutes, which is pretty great, honestly.
Honestly, I was expecting like 10.
Yeah, or 10 seconds. Be like, oh, what's this? Okay, I'm leaving.
Mm-hmm. Well, guys, everyone, thanks for watching us, chat here on the Tangent Podcast, and just relaxing here. My good friend Jeff. I'm glad you like the hoodie, man. I mean,
yeah,
it's
real comfy. It's really snug, but I think it's good, And also, he got me. Oh, I don't want to expose my chest here, even though I can legally.
Mm-hmm.
Just don't want to. But he also got me this T-shirt under here. It's a Kingdom Hearts T-shirt.
Yeah. Oh, also, did you get the sticker?
I looked and I did not see it, but they might be sending it separately.
Cool.
So,
I think you'll like it. You'll like it.
Yeah, thanks for coming in. Okay.
It'll look good on your laptop.
Oh yeah, probably. You see, is it a giant rat?
Yep.
Oh yeah, boy! Give me that rat movie merch. Thanks for coming to Tangent Podcast. Hope you all enjoyed. I say this every single fucking time, but I hope we do these more often. I don't think I have really any exams until December at this point, so I'm a little bit more open, especially when we get closer to the breaks in for Thanksgiving and all that.
For me, I have a lot more stuff because I have a lot more synchronous classes. So I think that's why it's kind of, I really wish I had more async classes, but
listen, they're not. I have full async classes. It kind of sucks. because like I don't interact with any humans. I just get like pre-recorded lectures, and it sucks. But it does mean I have more time to myself, which is nice.
Yeah, that's true.
So yeah, we'll schedule it out, whenever both of us are free and feel like doing this. Because sometimes we'll both be free and we'll be like, nah, I just don't feel it. Because like this is like a huge like mental investment. Because like we both have to talk for like 2+ hours and make it like at least somewhat entertaining to other people. So it's kind of hard. Like if you've never done it before, you just wouldn't know. What it's like.
Shoot, remember when we used to record episodes and like
God, and then we have to go back and edit it, and it'd take like months. I still have goddamn episode 5 on my desktop, and one day I'm just gonna take the file and just slap it on here as like lost episode 2, because it's from like March, and now like every day that passes, I'm more afraid to open it. Thanks for coming to Tangent Podcast. Hope you enjoyed. Hope you're doing well out there. The world, every day seems to get more and more crazy. But make sure to go out and vote if you can. I know voter registration and all that, but if you can vote, please do vote. That every single election is important, and you should vote in all of them if you can. But take some time for yourself. Care about your mental health. You're worth it. So
yeah,
tune in next time.
We love you guys.
Yeah. Bye, guys. How do I end this train? There we are. Yeah. Sorry, I'm not great at this yet. Bye. There we go.